John Deere just dropped a bomb on the auto industry, and no one saw it coming. The company best known for tractors and farm equipment has just revealed what might be the most shocking pickup truck in years, a rugged, American-built hauler, priced lower than anything Ford, Chevy, or Toyota can even dream of. And here's the crazy part. This truck could completely flip the market upside down. We're talking about a pickup so cheap, so simple, and so brutally efficient that it's already making automakers panic behind closed doors. See, John Deere isn't playing by the same rules as Detroit. While Ford's F-150 prices are climbing past $50,000 and electric trucks like the Silverado EV are touching luxury car levels, Deere went the opposite direction, back to the basics. No touchscreen overload, no software subscription garbage, no $2,000 upcharges for packages that add nothing. This new truck is all muscle, metal, and function, built for work, not for Wi-Fi. Reports say Deere's engineers designed it with one thing in mind: durability over gimmicks. They took the same platform toughness that made their tractors legendary and applied it to a lightweight modular pickup. And the result? A vehicle starting under $15,000. Yes, you heard that right. $15,000 for a full-size work truck in 2025. That's less than the price of a used Toyota Tacoma with 100,000 miles. And it's not just cheap, it's clever. Deere's using a simple hybrid diesel-electric system that gives this thing over 45 miles per gallon while still pulling over 5,000 pounds. No battery anxiety, no charging headaches, just raw, reliable torque. Early leaks show it's even built with standardized components that local dealers, not corporate technicians, can fix. That means no software lockouts, no right to repair nightmares, and no waiting months for parts. Deere is taking direct aim at everything modern trucks have gotten wrong. What's really wild is how the truck looks. It doesn't scream futuristic like a Cybertruck or luxury like a Ram. Instead, it looks rugged, boxy lines, exposed bolts, a front grille that's all function and no fluff. The kind of truck you could drop off a cliff and still drive home. It's like Deere asked, what if we built a truck for real workers again? And actually did it. Farmers, contractors, small-town businesses, everyone's buzzing, because finally, there's a pickup that's not trying to be a rolling smartphone. Industry insiders are already calling this a Ford Maverick killer. And honestly, they might be right. Because while Ford's cheapest hybrid truck now pushes past $30,000, Deere is offering double the utility for half the price. That's terrifying for traditional automakers who've spent the last decade milking truck profits. If Deere scales this up, and word is they're already setting up production lines in the Midwest, this could start a full-on price war that forces GM, Stellantis, and even Toyota to rethink everything about how they build and price their trucks. Even crazier, Deere's strategy goes beyond the truck itself. They're launching it with a modular accessory system. Think snap-on beds, tool racks, small power units, even the ability to convert the base truck into a mini flatbed or light off-road hauler in minutes. That's innovation without the corporate fluff. It's like they remembered that trucks used to be tools, not fashion statements. And that message is landing hard, especially with blue-collar buyers who feel priced out of the pickup market. But here's where things really get interesting. Deere's plan isn't just about selling a cheap truck. It's about taking control of an entire segment the big automakers have abandoned: affordable, repairable, American-made utility vehicles. The same crowd that once bought base-model Rangers and Silverados, the ones now stuck buying used because prices have exploded, are exactly who Deere is targeting. They're not chasing tech bros or EV hype. They're going after real truck people. And that's what's making Wall Street nervous. Because if Deere can pull this off, if they can mass-produce a $15,000 pickup that actually lasts, it's going to expose just how bloated the traditional truck industry has become. Ford and GM are already running razor-thin margins on their EV trucks, and the last thing they need is a reliable, low-cost competitor eating into their most profitable segment. Deere's move could trigger an industry reset, forcing automakers to either cut costs dramatically or lose the bottom of the market completely. And remember, Deere already has the infrastructure advantage. Thousands of service centers across rural America, all trusted by farmers who value reliability over branding. They don't need fancy dealerships or ad campaigns. Their customers already know who they are. That's what makes this move so brilliant. Deere's not entering the market as a newcomer. They're expanding into a territory that's been begging for disruption for years. If this launch plays out as early reports suggest, we could be witnessing the birth of the most important pickup truck since the original Ford F-150. a truck that actually brings affordability, simplicity, and toughness back to America's roads. And the ripple effects are already starting to show. Used truck prices are dipping. Dealers are quietly slashing margins. And suddenly, every major automaker is scrambling to figure out how to compete with something that shouldn't even exist in their spreadsheets, a $15,000 truck that doesn't suck. Think about that. For years, car companies told us prices had to go up, that emissions, tech, and safety costs made cheap trucks impossible. Yet here comes John Deere, proving them all wrong with a vehicle that's both affordable and built like a tank. Inside industry circles, there's panic brewing. Leaked memos from Detroit hint at emergency meetings to reassess the small truck strategy. Ford's reportedly fast-tracking a low-cost Maverick variant. GM is allegedly dusting off an old Colorado chassis for a potential budget reboot. Even Toyota, known for staying calm in chaos, has quietly begun looking at importing lower-cost Hilux variants for North America. Deere didn't just launch a truck. They lit a fire under the entire truck market. And let's talk about the reaction from buyers. Within days of the reveal, Deere's pre-orders reportedly skyrocketed. Rural dealerships were flooded with calls. Farmers, tradesmen, and even small-town families who've been priced out of pickups for years are lining up. Social media's flooded with videos calling it the people's truck, the anti-Ford, and the real return of American utility. It's nostalgia mixed with rebellion, a statement against bloated truck culture. What's genius about Deere's approach is the psychology behind it. They didn't try to make a lifestyle truck. They made a livelihood truck. Something people can actually afford, actually fix, and actually use. No fake vents, no 15-inch tablets glued to the dash. Just steel, torque, and common sense. They even built the dashboard to be fully analog. Speedometer, temp gauge, fuel, and that's it. Old-school knobs, physical buttons, and a bench seat option. You can literally hose out the interior. It's like the pickup industry forgot what simplicity looked like, and Deere just gave them a crash course. But make no mistake, Deere's move isn't without risk. Automakers have powerful lobbies, and the government's regulatory landscape is designed around big corporations, not disruptors. A low-cost hybrid diesel truck could face emissions pushback, union resistance, or even supply chain sabotage. And that's where things could get heated. If Deere threatens too many profits, don't be surprised if the industry fights back, hard. Expect smear campaigns, political pressure, maybe even safety recalls conveniently timed to slow production. Deere's stepping into a shark tank filled with legacy giants that don't want competition at the bottom end. Still, Deere seems prepared. Insiders say they've already locked in domestic supply contracts, steel from Midwest mills, batteries from local manufacturers, and assembly in a new U.S. facility that bypasses the fragile global shipping chain. In other words, they're building this truck the way America used to build things: simple, local, and tough. That message is hitting home with buyers tired of paying $70,000 for made-in-Mexico trucks with fragile electronics and inflated repair costs. Deere's slogan for the campaign, "Built for Work Again," couldn't be more perfect. And the numbers backing this up are staggering. Analysts estimate Deere could sell 150,000 units in the first year alone. Numbers that would put it neck and neck with the Ford Ranger and Chevy Colorado almost instantly. Imagine that. A farm equipment company outselling half of Detroit's pickup lineup in its very first year. If that happens, we're not just witnessing a new product launch, we're witnessing an industrial revolution. Deere's truck could redefine what "made in America" means in the 2020s. The corporate world isn't ready for that. Wall Street's terrified of a low-margin disruptor, because if Deere proves you can sell a reliable truck for under $20,000 and still make money, it destroys the illusion that prices had to rise. It shows that maybe, just maybe, consumers have been overpaying for years, not because of costs, but because of greed. Deere's move rips that curtain wide open. But it's not just about affordability. It's about freedom. Freedom from over-engineered, unfixable vehicles. Freedom from digital locks, overpriced service plans, and software subscriptions. Deere's truck represents something deeper: the return of mechanical honesty. A reminder that trucks were meant to serve people, not shareholders. And if this pickup really performs the way early reports claim, it might just spark a movement that forces every automaker to rethink what a truck should be. And here's where things could get truly explosive. Because rumors are swirling that John Deere isn't stopping at just one truck. Insiders claim they're already working on an entire lineup: a compact two-door work pickup, a mid-size family hauler, and even a plug-in hybrid version aimed at urban fleets. Think about what that means. Deere isn't just dipping its toe into the truck market. They're diving in headfirst with the same aggressive precision that turned them into a farming empire. This could be the start of something massive, a total reinvention of what a utility vehicle means in America, and that's sending shockwaves through Detroit. Because if Deere pulls this off, it could expose how fragile the truck market really is. The big three have built their entire business around expensive trucks that print money. If a $15,000 Deere pickup starts stealing even a small slice of that pie, it could send corporate profits into freefall. Imagine the headlines. Ford sales plunge as buyers flock to John Deere. That's not just a marketing blow. That's an identity crisis for America's biggest automakers. Here's the wild part. Deere didn't need to invent anything new to do this. They simply went back to what everyone else abandoned: simplicity and repairability. Instead of throwing billions at flashy tech, they focused on making a truck that anyone can maintain in their garage. They didn't add smart assistants, over-the-air updates, or luxury interiors. They added strength, accessibility, and honesty. It's the anti-luxury pickup. And that's exactly why people love it. Farmers who've driven Deere equipment for decades know their machines can run for 40 years with basic maintenance. Now imagine that reliability in a pickup. That's a direct threat to the planned obsolescence model that automakers quietly depend on, where vehicles are built to need replacement after 8 to 10 years. Deere's truck could last 2 or 3 times that long. That's not good for the traditional car business, but it's great for buyers who are tired of debt and repair bills. Social media is already dubbing it the people's pickup. Videos of the prototype testing on muddy back roads are blowing up on TikTok and YouTube. You can see it powering through terrain that would choke a luxury SUV. There's even a clip of it hauling a trailer twice its size without breaking a sweat. People are cheering because it's real. No CGI marketing, no dramatic music, no buzzwords, just raw, honest capability. It's the truck version of a middle finger to corporate over-engineering. And here's what's really interesting. Deere's marketing isn't aimed at the usual crowd. They're not targeting influencers or celebrities. Their ads are showing small-town mechanics, ranchers, construction crews, even young people who just want something affordable and tough. It's grassroots, blue-collar energy. And it's working. Because in a market full of overpromises, Deere's message cuts straight to the truth. We built it so you can work. Meanwhile, car journalists are losing it. Reviewers are calling this the most disruptive pickup since the original Ford Model T truck. Think about that comparison. We're talking about a modern machine being compared to the very foundation of American automotive history. Because just like the Model T made cars affordable for everyone, Deere's truck might do the same for pickups. But don't think the establishment is going to sit back and let this happen quietly. Behind the scenes, there's talk that some automakers are pressuring suppliers not to sell parts to Deere's new division. Others are lobbying regulators to review Deere's emission exemptions or classification as a light commercial vehicle. It's corporate panic disguised as policy. Deere's success is making too many people nervous because it's proving that affordable innovation is still possible in America. And the fear inside those corporate boardrooms is almost palpable. Because for decades, automakers have controlled the narrative. They've convinced consumers that vehicles had to become more expensive, more digital, and more dependent on dealerships. But Deere just walked in and shattered that illusion overnight. By showing that a simple, functional, and durable truck can be built for under $15,000, they've pulled the rug out from under an entire industry that's been milking American workers dry. It's a wake-up call, and the shockwaves are spreading fast. Dealership owners are terrified because Deere doesn't play the same game. Their distribution network is built on local trust, not corporate markup. There's no haggling, no fake dealer fees, no nonsense. You walk in, order your truck, and drive it home. That's it. It's refreshingly honest, something the modern car buying experience lost long ago. And for millions of frustrated buyers, that simplicity feels revolutionary. Meanwhile, Wall Street analysts are scrambling to understand what Deere just did. They're running models, checking cost sheets, and they can't figure it out. How is Deere pulling off a profit at this price point? The answer is simple. They're not chasing Wall Street margins. Deere's goal isn't to become Tesla or Ford, it's to build loyalty. By offering a truck that real people can afford, they're strengthening their ecosystem, farmers, tradesmen, and small business owners who already rely on their equipment. It's not just a product, it's an empire expansion strategy. And here's where things get even more intense. Deere's truck is reportedly designed with modular repair codes. That means any certified mechanic, even small-town garages, can access the diagnostic system without paying for expensive software licenses. No locked ECUs, no subscription-based tools, just open access. This could be the death of the corporate stranglehold on vehicle repair. It's a direct assault on everything companies like John Deere themselves were once criticized for. Ironically, it looks like Deere learned from their own mistakes, and now they're using that lesson to destroy the competition. Consumers are noticing. Forums are flooded with discussions calling Deere's pickup the truck that ended the dealer monopoly. One user wrote, "Finally, someone's building a truck for the people who actually use them, not for the people who pose with them." That one sentence sums up the entire movement. People are tired of trucks that look tough but break under real pressure. Trucks that cost more than some homes yet can't survive a dirt road without warning lights popping up. Deere's timing couldn't be more perfect. And the timing isn't accidental. Sources close to the company say Deere's leadership saw this opportunity years ago, as truck prices spiraled out of control and middle-class buyers were forced into debt traps just to afford basic transportation. They knew the market was ripe for disruption. All they needed was the right platform and the right message. And now, with this new pickup, they've got both. The design screams function, the price shatters expectations, and the brand reputation does the rest. Even major media outlets are struggling to frame it. Some call it the affordable truck revolution. Others call it a PR stunt that turned into a crisis for Detroit. But one thing's certain, every headline is helping Deere dominate the conversation. The buzz is spreading beyond car enthusiasts. Even people who don't care about trucks are watching because it symbolizes something bigger. It's about rebellion against inflated costs, against corporate greed, against a system that forgot the working class. And while Detroit is still trying to figure out how to respond, Deere's next move might already be in motion. Rumors say they're preparing a national rollout with zero-interest financing for farmers and small businesses, plus a lifetime repair partnership with independent shops. A direct slap in the face to dealership monopolies. If that happens, we're looking at a total market collapse for overpriced entry-level pickups. The domino effect could crush resale values, flood used lots, and force automakers to cut prices across the board. What's happening right now feels bigger than one truck launch. It feels like a correction. A return to sanity in an industry that's been spiraling out of touch for too long. John Deere just reminded the world that affordability isn't impossible. It's just been ignored. And if this movement catches fire, every automaker from Ford to Tesla will have to answer the same uncomfortable question. Why did it take a tractor company to build a truck that makes sense again? That question is echoing everywhere.